order. It is 10:30, October 3rd, 2025, and we always start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I am Candace Payne. I'm the chair of the Lewis and Clark County Commission, and I get to run this crazy meeting. First of all, I'm going to do a brief introduction of. First, I'm going to do the health department. There she is. And she is going to introduce the other ladies from the health department. Can you do that? Nope.
Sure, yeah,
Amber, would you, well, these ladies have to go to
do you want me to start now, or
am I gonna have to?
are you jumping right into the agenda?
Well, I was going to. I wanna get you guys out of here. You're causing trouble.
Well, I'm Amber Johnson, a communication specialist at Lewis and Clark Public Health. I brought Shelly May, who is, she brought herself. Shelly and Joni, they're our public health nurses. Shelly's our public nurse supervisor, or public health nurse supervisor, and she's gonna chat with you briefly about all of our immunization programs, as well as the vaccine clinic that's happening here in Lincoln from 11:30 to 1:30 today. Shelly?
Okay, and then the reason I'm letting them go first is because they have to go to work.
Yeah, we're gonna work.
We wanna encourage that. Go for it.
We're gonna go with staff people. Hi, Madam Chair, I'm Shelley Mogg. I'm the public health nurse supervisor at Lewis Clark Public Health, and I'm just, we're doing flu clinic today, 11:30, 1:30 Community Hall, flu and COVID shots. And so come down and get vaccinated. We're going into respiratory season. RSV, we're seeing more COVID right now. Influenza, haven't quite started seeing that yet, but we're close. So you can protect yourself easily with those vaccines. RSV, there's a vaccine. If you're a certain age, you can get that one. And also we have all those other fun ones, the tetanus that you need every 10 years, MMR, all those fun vaccines. If you're going to travel out of the country, we have travel vaccines. So just come and see us if you want. But today we will be down in Community Hall from 11:30 to 1:30 for flu shots.
Okay. Thank you. And you and your team are excused,
Well,
but not you.
Well, I was going to, real quick, before we take off, you guys can if you want to. They're gonna go set up.
Yeah,
But I wanted
those
to introduce our visitors today, and then have them introduce themselves.
But we could go through the regular process.
Oh, sure.
Okay, because those are the two that have got to go to work.
Okay, yep.
And you,
Well, they're actually helping.
oh, you're helping us. Sorry, Sheriff. Okay. Easy. Okay, well, we'll save the rotten eggs for later. Please go ahead.
So I wanted to introduce our visitors today. Public Health
Thank
is
you.
hosting
Okay, oh, that's easy.
some visiting professional fellows. All right, see you soon. Madam Chair, Commissioners, I want to introduce Jasper and Fajar, and they're part of the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative Professional Fellows Program, which is a program of the U.S. Department of State and is supported in its implementation by American Councils for International Education and other institute partners, including the Mansfield Center at the University of Montana in Missoula. Applicants are between the age of 25 and 35 and are accomplished working professionals in their home countries and communities. And they will be with us from September, well, Monday was their first day on September 29th, and their last day with us will be Friday, October 24th. So we're collaborating on some really exciting creative public health projects while they're here. They're young and they do really good videos. So I'll let them tell you a little bit about themselves, where they're from, what they do in their home countries, and what they're working on for Lewis and Clark County.
Okay, I have a question. Are they only going to be in Lewis and Clark County for that month, or do the others?
Just, they started in Missoula for a few days, and they'll be here for a month. Their last day is the 24th of October, and then they fly to Washington, D.C. for about 5 days before flying home to Indonesia and the Philippines.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Jasper, you want to start?
We gotta get you guys out working too.
Sorry. Hello, good morning, Madam Chair and members of our committee and our guests for the morning, thank you so much for having us here. My name is Jasper. I'm a medical doctor back at home in the Philippines, but I also run a nonprofit that focuses on young people's health, focuses mainly on HIV/AIDS, teenage pregnancy, mental health, and human rights, which are basically the basics of health for young people back in the Philippines. So being here in the US is my first time, and being here in Montana is a great introduction to the US. The people here have been so kind and have been so welcoming and assisting us, especially in public health and also peer review. And I'm happy that we're attending this government days because I also want to look into health systems, how people, the community, our leaders, our community have been working together towards achieving public health. So going here at Lincoln today, it's very amazing to have seen you guys allow us to do vaccination. We all know across the world there has been vaccination hesitancy because of all the fake news that's been going around. But as someone who's in science, has been a scientist, also medical laboratory scientist, I've seen how important it is for us to educate young people, get the science across to the community in the language that they understand. And this is my plea to all of you to make health priority, because when our communities are healthy, we have empowered and productive human beings that will help boost our economy and bring us to greater heights. So thank you for this opportunity to have this speech in front of you, and we're so happy to be here. Fajar and I will be willing to help out until we can before we fly out to DC and bring the good news of what Montana has been doing greatly, especially Lewis and Clark County. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Fajar, do you have something?
Well, good morning everyone. Thank you so much for having us today. My name is Fajar. I'm from Indonesia. Same with Jasper, I'm working at nonprofit Indonesia. In my country, I'm working for tuberculosis prevention and control. And right now in Montana for 4 weeks fellowship, I'm looking forward to learn from U.S. public health system, and especially for infectious disease prevention and control. And yeah, like today we are going to the vaccine day, and it's harder for me. It's a good opportunity for me to learn more about the outreach and everything about the prevention in Lewis and Clark County. And once again, thank you so much for having us. And I'm really enjoying my time here in Montana because I really love nature, and this is a very good opportunity for me to learn more from the people and from you, all of you guys. Thank you so much for having us.
And thank you. Pardon me. Is that Sheriff?
May I question, or may I say a comment?
That's right. Yes. This is Sheriff Dutton, and he's got a comment in response.
Sure. Your English is impressive. Very good. I almost understand you better than Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's very good.
I do, I'm from East Helena, so.
I'm from the other side of the state, and I speak Montucky. So, you guys do very good. Thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, well, now you can go.
Well, we'll stay for the sheriffs because it's always entertaining. I'll stay
Okay,
for the
so
sheriff.
that means we'll be here while I do the
Presentation.
introductions, okay? Now we're going back to the agenda, because I thought we had to be feet and get out of here. I'm Candace Payne, I'm the chair. To my right is Andy Hunthausen. He is also a commissioner, but he's also been doing this for, oh man, I think he was in high school when he started. Sheriff Dutton is the head of our law enforcement operation in Lewis and Clark County, and he works very hard with the neighboring county law enforcement, so it isn't like it's a one-man show, it's a teamwork. To my, yeah, there's anybody else, okay. To my left is Commissioner Tom Rolfe. He's also a member of Kiwanis. And Roger Balls is our Chief Administrative Officer. He keeps us all sort of headed in the right direction. And Audra Zackrell is here on behalf of the Public Works Department, and she knows how to make a budget work. And Ann McCauley, who is a movie star. He worked for, procurement, there it is, grants and procurement department. She knows, see, once you get the money, then Audra figures out how to, it's all a teamwork thing. Okay, and that is all of us up at the table. So, and our first report then is from the sheriff, Leo Dutton.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I forgot to say, this is all being recorded, required by state law. So when you speak, you have to get up in the front of the podium and you've got to talk loud and pay attention.
Welcome all to the throngs of people that have showed up. Appreciate it. The nice part is you never come to see me unless we've had an evacuation, which we have not. So I thought about some just different things of life. And you know, there was the invisible man and the invisible woman. They fell in love with each other. But for the life of me, I couldn't see what they saw in each other. The kids, they had kids. They were nothing to look at either. I've been practicing that one for a month. At least a courtesy laugh.
You're much more polite.
Yeah.
We're used to his
Yeah,
dad.
thank you for that. I'll turn down the volume up here.
Good luck.
Anyway, the sheriff's office has been busy. It's been a while since we've been up here. You have a resident deputy of Chance Hill, and he has been in the area for some time. I think they found a residence. That's been difficult, been extremely difficult. We have resident deputies outside of Helena. So we have one here, and then we have one in Augusta, Montana, which is to the northeast of here. So it's a long ways, and the northern part of our county is sparsely populated. So in an old saying, there's a lot of dirt between light bulbs, but we still need to have deputies there to respond to medical emergencies, trauma, those kind of things that sometimes come and help the ambulance, or we don't help the fire department because we don't do that, but you know, we'll block traffic for them. If we can, you know, if they're eating or something, we'll get there first and help them out. So you should know that there's a little bit of collegial competition between fire departments and sheriff's offices, just in all good nature. Anyway, we work together a lot. We're just about together on every scene. If it's a homicide scene, we request them to come, sometimes block the view so we can keep that scene safe, or different items that they have that we can help, or that they will help us with. So there's a lot of interplay between different agencies. So the office of sheriff is elected. The fire departments have chiefs that have boards that they report to, and that's a difference. I have 80,000 bosses, so I always give chiefs of police a bad time, because I said, you know, you can do whatever you want, and you're not elected, you don't have to worry about it. He said, well, yeah, you gotta go out, and I'll be a little bit coarse here, you gotta go out and kiss 10,000 butts. I gotta kiss one butt 10,000 times, and that's the mayor. So anyway, every job has its interesting part. You can smile. Anyway, thank you.
I'm just confused.
Roger's shaking his head.
So,
It's all on film.
yeah,
It's 11.
oh, you can go back and review it, and play it real slow. Okay. The detention center, I tell you, we have a jail that we have a maximum capacity. It's supposed to be 160 people, 160 beds. At our worst, we'll have 170. But because in 2018, the voters passed a mill levy and bond, and we were able to implement some programs we said we would, and that's pretrial. That pretrial, if you get on that, if it's judge's decision, there's like 4 times in a week that you have to call in, you have to go to programs, but some people don't like this part, that there's no cash bail. You can post with, or go to the pretrial, you don't have to post. And I understand bail. You get somebody who's very dangerous, and you want to make sure that they're going to be there and not cause any problem. But these people are low offenders generally, and that they don't have money. So you may have read in the paper that we had a death in our jail. Older gentleman got put into jail, had a city warrant, and the warrant was for $600. So in he goes, and I don't know about life. He may have died in an alley someplace, but he ended up dying in our facility. And that's hard on our staff. And I said, I look at you as our staff, because they actually care about who are the people that are in there. And he may have been so far down on dietary or just human, taking care of himself that it was inevitable. But now we have to go through an investigation because it's considered an in-custody death. So we have to have a administrative review, which we do every time, and then we have a criminal investigation. We have an outside agency come in and look, did we do anything criminally wrong? Then we have to have the county attorney, who's an elected position, will do a coroner's inquest. Because it's our jail, I'm also the coroner, so I won't be doing the inquest. We'll have another adjoining county that we work with will come in and do the inquest, present evidence to a jury, and then they will decide, did we do anything wrong? So it's a long, long, long process, but it's meant to protect citizens. That's why it's there. Exciting things, school's back in session, so if you're used to passing, school buses will eventually get you, so don't. A lot of people, especially around here, are very good. You guys are very good about watching, because generally, you know somebody their kids are on that bus. So we've had a little problem with people speeding past school buses, endangering children who are getting on or getting off. So we're watching that. Trying to think of good things that are going on. We have a lot of interesting people move in and out of our facility. The courthouse sometimes has some exciting, sometimes we get drug in there because we have a courthouse and we have a city-county building. The courthouse that we have where all of the legal stuff happens is the responsibility of the sheriff. So when something happens in there, that we go in and we investigate. The city-county building, the city handles that. They had some excitement there the other day. Somebody we know who it was just left a package there, but he did the appropriate thing and said, we don't know what it is, so they evacuated the building. And we'll work on the notification part of it, get a little better, because that message went out to all city-county buildings. Evacuate. So we can work on that. Lincoln-wise, I was gonna have Chance here, but clearly he didn't show up, but we'll work on that. He may be doing something else. And if you have any questions, ask the chair and she'll let me know if I can answer. So that's how this process works. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Leo. That was a good report. Only one joke, and we appreciate that.
Well, I have more, but
No, that's carried away here. One thing I did not mention, we have a sign-up sheet. Where's our sign-up sheet?
Right here. It's going around.
Okay, there it is. So please make sure your names are on our sign-up sheet. I'd like to see who all attended. And we got the sheriff's report, community council reports. This is what we're all here for. Goodbye, guests. Thanks for coming. Zach, are you doing the community council report?
I can. I will.
Some other people look like they might jump up, but they're bad.
Zach Muse, Chair of the Community Council, among other things. Not a lot that wasn't Public Works as normal, so I'll let Public Works go ahead and handle that part of it with her update. Hoover Park shutting down, or is shut down. They made about $32,000 in revenue this year. They're gonna work on doing the internal roads hopefully next year. They're gonna try, and next year is Niles' last year again. So he's not here, I would address him more than I did at the meeting. So we'll see. We do have a really good park campground host, who does a bang-up job, and he's coming back again next year. Mark Richard is his name. He's gone for the year, but he does a bang-up job. He's out fighting gophers and everything else, trying to keep things nice and sharp looking. Kevin Grantier did give an update on the Rock in the Rockies, and I'll admit I was concerned enough that I got out of town that weekend. But it went actually really well. I think we had one call, and that was on Sunday, and I think some girl was probably taking a drink of her whatever beverage, and a hornet was in it and stung her in the tongue. So other than that, it was pretty good. I think the deputies in Highway Patrol had 45 roughly traffic stops. Just, you know, general traffic issues, speeding and whatnot. I think they only got 1 or 2 DUIs out of the deal, but, so it actually went really well. They made good money. They didn't have a final total, but it was around 45,000 or something so far.
I wrote down
47,000. So
That's excellent.
it'll be, as with anything, first year's always tough, and they're gonna start planning and doing everything way ahead of time this year. Probably right after the first of the year, they'll start planning for it. And try and be a little more organized, but that's how new things happen. They take some learning. And
How many bands did you have?
I,
Nobody
20
knows.
something, I think.
20?
Yeah.
How many stages?
Two stages.
Okay. And
Everybody pretty much stayed out there.
where did you hold it?
It was out on the Grantier Ranch.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't on county property?
No.
Okay.
Excuse me, we found these sunglasses in the community room on a day that the government day was here. Does anybody recognize these?
You can just leave them right there
I
and
will do that.
somebody will pick them up, and if not, we'll auction them off and raise some money. Well, I have an eyeball on those.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. Zach, continue, please.
And then the only other thing we had was the Emergency Operations Center, which we'll cover later. So,
Okay.
that was it.
Is the fire department going to talk about, the last time we were here, there was the fire over on Fletcher Pass.
Oh, Fletcher. Yeah, that had been out, got on it quick, and I mean, they hit it hard. Unfortunately, unlike most of the time, we had plenty of air resources for once. We got really lucky in the valley, for the bigger fires we did have, that we had air resources quick and timely rain. I mean, you couldn't ask for.
And the wind changed.
Yeah, the wind, yeah, but that rain, like, Gill Gulch up on Dalton, it hit, it started running, and then we got, I don't know, 3/10 or something of an inch of rain right after. So it slowed it down. And I let the ranger talk about the forest ones. The only other fire we have around here that's still burning is the Windy Rock one, and it's pretty much done. It'll smoke and burn till snow falls, but that's the way it is this time of year.
Any questions for Zach?
Madam Chair, Zach, one of the
I think
things
you
that,
have to go up there so that we can get properly recorded.
Come on up and hang out.
Can't do that, Red Skill.
You never could, Leo.
Anyway, Zach,
Leo.
yes. If you would tell them when they're planning is what we noticed was that the cellular portion of this, because there were so many people on their phones, you couldn't get on the phone there for a while.
Okay.
And it's not that emergency services have relied on the radio, but they're also relying on the phone. So either we work with Verizon to get priority, or understand maybe they can bring a, what they call a communications on wheels, a cow, when they established what that was, that would help with communication. We're just concerned about public safety.
Oh, good call.
And maybe by thinking about it now, by the time next fire season comes up, it will, good thought. Any other questions for Zach? Seeing none, thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Jim, Forest Service.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everybody. Jim Yarp, Lincoln District Ranger. A couple things. The Sandbar 2 fire, which is the Fletcher Pass fire you referred
Okay,
to,
yep.
that is in patrol status or monitoring status now. It's been rehabbed, the fire lines have been rehabbed, the berms are pulled back in, it's been seeded, it's been blocked, so we're watching it, but, we're still on it. Same is true for the Gill Gulch fire. What Zach said is true about the fire suppression efforts and the availability of resources, especially air support this year. We got lucky this year, I think, because when we start, typically the rest of the country starts burning before we start burning, before the Northern Rockies, and all those assets are deployed when we start burning. This year, that didn't happen. There were fires elsewhere, but not like there has been historically. So we have resources, especially air support. And it's true, the wind did switch directions up there about 3 days into it, and it burned back onto itself. So that was super helpful. And the rain, everything helped a lot. That time of year, early August, typically our northern slope fuels aren't quite available yet to carry heavy fire, a lot of fire, a big fire head. And that was super helpful as well. So when the Gill Gulch fire blew over on the north slope, it just kind of skunked around, and then the rain Zach talked about really helped hold it until we had a line around it. Both fires are rehabbed and they are in monitoring status currently. October 15th, we will start swinging gates closed for the closure, for the travel management closure order stuff. That happens every year on October 15th. And currently we are in government shutdown. So our door is locked until further notice.
Okay.
We do have staff on board to help promote the the timber program. So we have timber contracts out there. Those contracts are still being allowed to operate. And we're still being allowed to help hold the timber program in place and promote it. So that's about all I have. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Rick Foreman, the status on
Would you get up so that you're recorded?
Rick Foreman, resident of Lincoln Springs subdivision, and one update is a shutdown gonna slow that down or any?
Whatever the effect the shutdown has on it, I don't have a whole lot of control, but we're still working on it. I
The
can
plan
tell you
is
that.
still to go.
The plan is to continue moving forward.
Do the best you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions?
Oh, Copper Creek Road, very good. So
Copper?
Copper,
Oh, copper. Thank you.
the contract was awarded, but it won't be executed till next year, depending on budgetary concerns, budgetary issues, however they move forward, however the appropriations world moves forward. So for now, it's scheduled to be executed next construction season. However, next week, the county has agreed to give us some tailings or asphalt millings, sorry, not tailings, millings is mine, millings is on the road. So millings, we're gonna donate a piece of equipment and personnel, and we're gonna fill in the potholes out there so that when they plow, they don't break things.
That's great. Now, where is this gonna be? At the
Copper Creek Road?
Copper Creek Road, okay. Yay!
Yep. What else I forget?
What are they doing to Copper Creek Road in the spring?
Oh, it's gonna go back to a gravel surface.
Who's they?
They are us.
The Forest Service?
The Forest
Or the
Service.
county?
They haven't, no, the Forest Service has a contract, federal highways money, and it's going to go to grinding those, making more millings, use them as subgrade, and then they'll put a surface over it that's gravel.
Okay.
That's the idea next summer.
Any other questions? Comments? Okay.
Not for him comments, if you talk to him, if you happen to talk to him, tell him if they find a VW Volkswagen and some of them potholes, just cover it right up.
We will.
Moving right along. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Now for the good part, the Public Works Department. Yes, I was thinking you with that, you know, that's different.
Thank you, Chair Payne, Commissioners. I'm Audra Zackrell. I'm the Assistant Director at Public Works, representing Public Works today. I have a very brief update for you. As Zach mentioned, our buildings, the Hooper Park has completed their winter shutdown. Our buildings crew came up and shut down the sprinkler system and the bathroom, so there's no water there. We have 3 vacancies in Public Works right now. We're looking for a landfill mechanic. We're looking for an RID construction coordinator, and then the position that affects Lincoln probably the most, or touches on it the most, is our equipment operator position up here is now vacant, and the job will be posted here within the next week. Just so you know, the district, if the district operator still needs any assistance, then we'll be sending somebody from Helena to help with that and provide resources. Winter snow removal will also continue to be supported by our Helena staff as well if the Lincoln equipment operator needs help. Our shop is preparing the fleet for winter, and the snow plows will be brought up by mid-October. So you'll be seeing that showing up. Let's see, the only other thing I have is concerning our bridge division, the North Beaver Creek Road Bridge over the Keep Cool Creek. The deck replacement will take place here fall, winter time frame. And then there's been a change of plans on that. Our bridge crew should be able to do that replacement without closing the road down. You can expect delays, but not a complete closure, and we'll have reader boards up that will be giving the residents updates on that project. So, are there any questions for me, Commissioners?
Andy, did you have anything?
Yeah.
Tom? Okay. The deck replacement on the bridge over Keep Cool Creek, how far out of town is that? Ballpark?
I have no
Mile and a
idea.
half.
Mile and a half, okay. It's just, thank you. That's all. Appreciate it. Audra? Okay, we already did the public health reports, which is next on the agenda. And now, Ann McCall is going to talk about the grant application to the Montana Department of Commerce's Community Development Block Grant Program. Ann McCauley is the guru of grants. She knows how to get these things done. Go for it.
Chair Payne, Commissioners, thank you. Ann McCauley, as noted, the Director of the county's Grants and Procurement Department. So we're proposing a grant application to the Montana Department of Commerce, and specifically their Community Development Block Grant Program, or CDBG. To give a little background on this, this has been a long-time program. It was part of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974. It's a nationwide program. Here in Montana, it's administered by the Montana Department of Commerce, and it's available to cities and towns with fewer than 50,000 through the state. Cities with larger than that get direct funding from the feds, and then all counties are eligible for this funding. Among other activities, the state CDBG program provides funding to help local governments plan for future growth and development, develop specific plans for individual projects, and take action to address community needs. These projects are principally benefiting low and moderate income individuals, which the community of Lincoln meets that eligibility criteria. The specific project that's being proposed is for an Upper Blackfoot Emergency Operations Center. This project is a collaboration among the local emergency service providers here in the Lincoln community. So Lincoln Fire and Rescue, Lincoln Volunteer Ambulance, as well as the Sheriff's Office, Lincoln Satellite. This EOC would serve as the main emergency services center for the area and would include dedicated bays for emergency vehicles, a vehicle work bay, offices, and then a large conference room. As Zach has noted, when they've had major events and they need to have a place to gather, it's pretty cramped inside their existing facilities. This would be just the planning part for this EOC. It would include what we call a preliminary architectural report that would be conducted by a qualified architecture firm. They come in, they look at what the needs are, they work with all the partners in the community, and they'll develop those preliminary plans. They'll make a nice SketchUp, kind of, so you can get a visual of what this facility could be. And then with remaining funding, we'll also try to do some of the grant writing services for the dollars that we'll need to actually construct the facility. This grant request is $50,000. It does have a 25% match requirement. That match of $12,500 is being funded equally amongst those 3 partners listed. And the anticipated grant schedule upon award would be January 26th through the end of the year 26th. Happy to take any questions, and I'd also like to invite each of those partners to come up and speak about their individual needs for this.
Before they do that, do we have a location for this, or is that not been determined?
The proposed location right now is the existing Rural Fire District's property, just to the south on Stemple Pass Road.
Okay.
Just off Main Street here. Yeah, and that's a couple acres, Zach?
A little over an acre.
A little over an acre. It already has existing, it's got the water filling pumps that we did a couple years ago. The domestic wells, and then also tied into the sewer district. So it's got the existing infrastructure at that site.
Okay. Would you, representatives from these 3 entities, come up and tell us how you see this working and how soon you think?
Zach News, Fire Chief. As most of you know already, we've got a lot of old buildings and we're scattered throughout the valley. We've got the one out east of town a couple miles. That was a previous Department of Transportation section house. I believe that one's about 70 years old. We've got the one that's on B Street in Stemple that is, I think it was built in late 60s. And then the newest acquisition was the old Performing Arts building, whatever it was. That one was probably built in the 50s. And our newest building is because of somebody ran into it with a plow and collapsed a wall, so we got it that 2-holer next to the community hall, and all that is a garage. It's got heat and power, and that's about it. The current buildings we do have, we just make do. We've had to put a few new roofs on in the past. The newest one for us, Station 4, needs a complete new roof on it. It leaks horribly bad. Not to mention it's not sealed very well, so we're heating the outdoors, and right now you can't go in there without being attacked by 20 billion flies. I mean, I'll clean it 5 days later, the floor is covered. You can see on the walls where the water's running down the walls when we do get heavy rain. It's just, it gets us by. And fortunately, you have some really good volunteer firefighters that have skills that can keep it going. You know, we've put up walls, we've redone drywall, we've run power, done all these things just to keep it going. And it works, but again, we are scattered here, there, and everywhere, so if we need, everybody responds to town. If we need another truck, someone's gotta go all the way out to Station 3, and if the fire's, let's say up Dalton, that's a long ways, and a lot of time wasted, and for us, time is everything. The ambulance, if you want me to speak on the ambulance.
Oh, it'd be nice if ambulance spoke for themselves, but he may be putting words in your mouth.
Well, he's
I wrote on
good
that
at
too.
that, but he's also a member of the ambulance, so we'll let him take it.
Where's the ambulance kept now? right next to the clinic.
Peer review,
Peer
Parker
review.
Medical.
Okay, is it in a building?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the old Parker Medical Clinic, and I don't know when that was built. It's at least 50 years old. Very small, very old, needs a ton of work, leaks. There's a bathroom in there, 2 bathrooms, I guess, one with a shower and all that, and you can just look at it, it's from the 60s. I mean, and the plumbing's not very good. The ambulance did get money to build a garage next to it, so it does house barely our 3 ambulances, and they're packed in there. They're bumper to bumper, and you kind of gotta shuffle things around if you need a particular ambulance out. It is heated, but now they're out by Parker, or Peerview Medical Center, and then the sheriff's office, I'll let him talk on that, but what we'd like to do is have everything in one spot, right in the center of town, one-stop shop. We've got law enforcement, we've got ambulance, we've got fire, because we do work so much together, and I think this will bring us even closer together and allow everybody to have the room. We had, I think it was it 17 when we had the Emergency Operations Center in Station 2, and I keep trying to find that picture for Ann, but when you have an incident and you have a lot of cooperators in there, from fire to EMS, the sheriff's office, highway patrol, public works, county commission, DNRC, Forest Service, it takes up a lot of room. And I mean, we had people packed in there like sardines back in 17 for the Parker Astra fires. And it's hard to get anything done. And not to mention, where we were training, our tables, our office, where our board met, everything was in the same room with all of our structure gear. And anybody knows anything about fire and structure gear and fires, you get a lot of carcinogenic material on your bunker gear. As much as you try to wash it, keep it clean, you're still in a room where this stuff is floating around in the air. It's just not safe. And at the same time, we can't bring the kids in for tours and whatnot. It's just not something we want to expose the public to. Fortunately, with this other station addition, Station 4, we've been able to move our meeting area to that, but we still have 2 trucks in there and a wall, nothing, so when you start a truck, the exhaust is in there. It's just not we're packed in like sardines in what buildings we do have, and we're scattered everywhere.
Okay, I have another question for you. Are there any plans for abandoning your current, you've got these falling down buildings all over town, are they gonna stay there? Are you gonna use them for fire practice? Are you gonna rent them out for a gas split? You come up with anything?
Commissioner, basically the 2 on Stemple, the 2 that are currently in the lot that we want to put the new EOC, it'll be hopefully in stages, because while this is all going on, we still have to operate. But both those buildings will be demolished eventually during this process. Now, as far as the 2-holer next to the community hall, we will keep that because it is a newer building, it's a well-built building, and we'll use that to store we have side-by-sides, we have snowmobiles, we have rescue sleds for the ambulance, we have trailers, things like that, generators, big huge pump on a trailer that really came in handy in 17 during the flooding. So we'll keep, that one will be used for storage. The one out at Station 3, east of town, we will keep that because it's kind of it's money in our pocket because it is on an 1.5 acres. It's a big lot, lots of storage, it is old, but because we do keep one of our spare pumper and spare tender out there, the way the Insurance Services Organization, ISO, rates people's insurance, and it's starting to go away a little bit. They're changing how they do things. but Lincoln is rated an 8B10. So insurance rating of 1 means you have a firefighter with a truck living in your house. I mean, you get low insurance. Because we are very rural, an 8B is the best we can do here due to the size of our area and being volunteers. So let's just say your insurance costs $1,500 a year, just throwing it out there. A 10 means you live farther than 5 miles from a fire station. 5 air miles is how they rate it. So your insurance would be $2,500 a year. So it jumps up. By keeping the pumper and the tender out there, it extends our coverage of that 8B out to those folks that live out Alice Creek, that live out on 279, because they're within 5 air miles. So we'll always keep that unless we need the money, you know, because it is a desirable lot. It's got power, it's got water, it's got sewer, it's got everything somebody would want. So we keep that in our back pocket in case something bad does happen. But we would like, our plan is to keep that for the folks so that their insurance doesn't go up.
That's a great explanation. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay.
If I may, I'll give
Go
you a
ahead.
quick rundown on the plans for the new building. Would have the sheriff's office on one end so that they're kind of isolated because they have reason to be, secure.
Yes.
And then it would be the ambulance next to them, their office, building, training area. And then it would be a couple ambulance bays for their ambulances. The sheriff's office would have like a little garage so that they can pull in, or if they need to bring someone in the building or whatever. And then it would be fire bays, depending on how many we can fit. And then there'll be one big work bay. We're shooting for, a lift and a pit. So if they have a problem with their truck or the ambulance has a problem, we have basically like a Jiffy Lube right there. They can do their own oil changes, tire changes, minor work, whatever. And that would be for everyone. It's a designated work bay to have all the tools. And then it would be the main building, which would be similar to any other conference room, at fire halls like East Valley or Bird's Eye or whatever. It would be a 2-story. The main floor would be no vehicles. It would just all be a conference room. We'd have a small kitchen, training room, a couple offices upstairs. We may have showers and whatnot. Because we do come back from some of these fires and we need showers. We don't want to take this carcinogenic material home to our families. And that would be basically for everyone. Yes, my office would be in that.
You get an office? Oh, okay.
Nice. My desk is the dumping point for everything in the fire hall, closest to the stairs. So it'd be for everybody. We could have these meetings, we'd have incident command posts, we would have any other public meetings, things like that, where this wasn't big enough. Just make it to where it's 21st century, not 19th century.
One of I have learned since becoming a county commissioner that the people that work for us think about these things and they get all the groundwork done. Like applying for these grants so they can get the architectural stuff. So when there is a pot of money that is giving out these grants, everybody else is scrambling, getting their groundwork done. And Lewis and Clark County, hey, we're ready, and they are ready to go, and that's why Lewis and Clark County has a reputation amongst the 56 counties in Montana that, why don't you guys get all those, what are they called, flat
grants.
yeah, it's because we're ready to go, we've got an operation, and we can, and it is to our best, in our best interest as the citizens of Lewis and Clark County to do things like get them a grant so we can make these plans so that down the road, 3, 4, 5 years, we're ready to go. So I think we're headed in the right direction, but then of course, I'm only county commissioner, so.
And we are not asking taxpayers.
No, this is, you guys have put up the funds, but anyway, so, cool. And then we're going to let the sheriff say something, or did you want to, no more jokes, just go about the
Been rehearsing some good ones, but I'll save it till next time.
That would be, and that will give you more time to practice and determine if they're really good.
Bless your heart.
Okay.
So, we have been talking about this. Zach has approached us several years ago about this, but it really didn't get an impetus for us about doing this. McCauley from Public Works called and said, your roof, where our station is now, is going to need repaired. You have two years maybe, and you're looking in today's dollars about $10,000 to invest in a roof. So all of a sudden, we looked at investing $10,000 in a building that our building came from Maelstrom. If you go look at the walls and most, I can trace it back. I see pictures of sheriffs in 1972 when they got the building and they put it in there, so it is a bomb shelter. Or not a bomb shelter, but a place where that they operated out of. Nice thick walls, if you're gonna get shot at, that's the place to go. But we got a plan about what to do with it. It's not unusable, but for us and our purposes, we needed to start investing money into something new and called up Zach. Hey Zach, we're interested, we're ready. Let's go talk to Ann and give us some furtherance about us being a partner with you. We do have the money to set aside for our share, and we'll put that up, and I think that's engineering or architecture or something like that. It's not actual construction, but we would look forward to being a little bit more publicly available right on toward Main Street. No one really knows where we're at. Sometimes that's good, if we have an inmate, and sometimes it's bad when someone needs help. Someone just wants to, doesn't know where to go, isn't gonna punch 911, but if they see a sign, they're gonna go in and talk. It's a good partnership. We have snowmobiles up here. We have a vehicle, being able to not buy everything ourselves, but partner, so we could use the bay or something like that. We have to come in and chain up sometimes. The snowmobiles are used in the wintertime for cabin checks, that we go around and do cabin checks, leave our card in there, and we need to do those because cabins up here get broken into every year because individuals of nefarious means. How was that? That was a good switch. Anyway, that go out and break into the cabins because they know their people aren't there, and then they don't get checked on until spring, until the snow goes away. So when we really have that opportunity to have our snowmobiles have four-season equipment there to share, the snowmobiles that the ambulance has, we work a lot together. They're the Lincoln ambulance is the first here for a lot of wrecks before we can get our search and rescue up here. So we like to train with them. They know the area. I tell you, there's a place called Copper Bowls, and people are buying newer, better, faster, bigger snowmobiles, and they can go higher, faster, and they wreck. And then they get lost, or they go further where we can't find them. So we end up having to buy newer, bigger, better, faster snowmobiles to go find them, because they're in a place where a helicopter really is tenuous to even go in and get somebody on a hoist, just because of the sheer area. So the partnership is great. Look forward to it. It's a long time overdue. We also need to talk about in the future planning of maybe putting an apartment or a couple of apartments above there, because that's the hardest part we have sometimes is getting somebody up here in place, allowing them to go find a place that they want to work with. We had an apartment, even when we have a big incident, that we can have a place for a couple of people to stay, that are gonna stay overnight instead of traveling back. I've been a victim of that, traveling back to Helena. The worst case I had was the fires of 2003, traveling back and forth because the sheriff then didn't want to have an apartment up here or a motel room. And we had paint, marking paint, X's and O's on the road. And we had Grimes's, right by Grimes, horses get out, and I met them at 2 in the morning. I didn't hit them, but I met them. So it's jumping on, put it in a rock block, sliding sideways. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to me, the paint can went sideways, and unbeknownst to me, it started spraying in the bag. And I didn't know it, but in about 20 minutes, I was hired a kite, saying things on the radio I shouldn't be saying, and saying things to my boss I should have said either. So that's the danger.
That's the best excuse I've ever heard.
Yeah. So anyway, I can tell you about 3 hours later, I had a headache that wouldn't stop. But nonetheless, those are the dangers and things that we can alleviate by partnering together. I know it's down the road, but there is a lot of good things that come. In the earthquake having, I got that picture, we're all crammed in there. Yep. The members of the county commission, all of us are crammed into that room, trying to hash out a plan, establish what's safe, what's not, going out, looking at people's homes where their chimneys are cracked over here, or the bridges that are safe to cross. And I know you think, well, why is law enforcement care about a bridge? Well, if somebody crashes, we care a lot. So we teamed up with different people going out to do damage assessments, but having a space to have a meeting is great. That's my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sheriff. That was very helpful, and Zach, yours was helpful. Is there any questions from the commission? Because I'm going to do a formal motion on this, and so I'm going to move into my agenda point. So,
Chair Payne,
Andy?
just to, a question for Ann, just to reiterate, this is a planning effort at this point. So there's no confusion, and this is an opportunity potentially, if we get this grant, to really get, I'll use the term, kind of a common term we've had in the last decade or so, get shovel ready. And get a plan that we can now understand, well, how much is it gonna cost, what's it gonna look like, you know, what kinds of fees it's gonna be, and what kind of money do we need to essentially chase or find in order to build the facility. Correct? I just wanna make sure everyone's clear. This isn't a go for the whole operation. We have to get this, find out that it's feasible, and then be able to find a way to muster up the funds to do it. So it's just the beginning, right?
Yes, Commissioner Hunthausen, thank you for that. This is very much just the phase one. This is going to be able to say what we can do at that site, if we are able to do everything that you kind of want to in that plan and what's feasible. And I think coinciding with the architect doing that work will be the community talking about what this looks like in a partnership, and also thinking about what that funding stack will need to look like.
Thank you, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Andy, or Tom, do you have anything?
No.
Roger?
Good.
Anybody? Okay. This is an appointment of Ann McCauley to do the heavy lifting on this. Do we need a motion for this? Okay, but go ahead. Okay, is there any public comment? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the grant application to the Montana Department of Commerce's Community Development Block Grant Program as explained by Ann McCauley and the others.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the grant application as presented by Ann McCauley. Is there any further comment from the commission?
Chair Payne.
Andy?
Just a thank you to Ann and the others. I think this is a great partnership, the kind of partnerships we should be doing in our communities, and long overdue for Lincoln. So I'm in full support, I hope we can pull this off, and I'd be happy to help however I can. Diane's on the job. Thanks.
And as a comment from me, I don't know how much growth Lincoln has seen, but if it's anything like the rest of the county, you've got a lot more people up here. You've got more people to protect, to get law enforcement, fire, ambulance. And in order to do that, we have to have adequate facilities. And maybe we should have been planning for this 10 years ago, but we didn't know all these people were gonna move in. So, let's do it now. I think it's a great plan. So, it's been moved and seconded. I think that's all I have to do. All in favor of approving this grant application, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, so.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, well, it's the start of a long journey, but we've got to do it. Okay, that being said, our next meeting is scheduled for November 7th, 2025, so put it on your calendars. And now we have come to part of the agenda where I ask for public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above. Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Did I do everything I was supposed to do?
Other than let the sheriff.
Right.
Pretty good today.
Well, I think it's really important.
Maybe a spill on the way up here.
Yes.